Well, hello, it's me again, second time in a day. I was out walking just to get a breath of fresh air here, and I was thinking about this situation, the last piece I put on the blog about the trade union leaders that met with Trump. What on earth were they doing? They sat down with a serial sexual predator. They said it was exciting. They were all laughing about it. It was great. It was exciting. The Teamster leader, Hoffer, he's not really a union guy, he's a lawyer. He's all excited about it. I mean, it's disgusting. This guy, as I say, they've sat down with a sexual predator, the predator in chief, we call him. What must women think about that? How do women feel about this? There's women in the Teamsters, women in the trades, there's women in the public sector, even more so, and black folks. But this guy mocked the disabled. He savaged Latinos. What is it? Some sort of organising tactic from these guys that's so dim? It's disgraceful. It's disgusting, and we should condemn it. The trade union leadership that sat there should be condemned by all of us in the trade unions. As far as I'm concerned, they're leaders in the sense that they control the apparatus. They have the levers of the trade union movement in their hands, but as far as any legitimacy, they're not legitimate leaders in my opinion, but they've got to go in my opinion, and they should. That's something we should be working on here. As far as the President of the United States, what we're supposed to respect the office, there's a integrity of the office. None of these people have integrity. The guys that met with him and him, I don't have any illusions in this office. The people that have been in this office have killed hundreds and hundreds, thousands of people, millions of people. So it's nothing about that for me. So the thing is, to just even meet with this guy, we should condemn them. It's different. Sanders wants to work with him, he can work with him. He's a big business politician and a fraud, all of them. They can do that. So, to me, these leaders have no legitimacy whatsoever. They're also going to sell out their own members. The building trades workers have suffered. They're nothing but high-paid temporary workers in many ways because they have limited protection on the job. So they're going to get it as well. They've already gotten it, and now they're trying to divide us, as I say in the other thing. But so the thing is, to me, I just thought more and more about it. We can't let this pass. It's gone on for too long. Trump is the culmination of their policies, the leadership's policy of concessions, of cooperating with the employer, of holding back any movements from below that threaten the relationship they have with them, of agreeing to concessions, not for them, of course. They don't work under the contracts they force on their own members, and in some situations, collaborating with the employers to defeat any locals or movement that tries to combat them, like the old P9 strike back in the 80s and stuff like that. So it's time we put a stop to this. This is just unbelievable. These people met with him. What do they want to work with this guy for? Why would you want to work with this guy? You want to work with Hitler? You want to work with a Nazi? You don't. This guy's not disowned these people. He's filled his cabinet full of vicious anti-worker, right-wing nationalists and Nazis. So I think we have to take a step here. The first thing I think is, like, I used to be in ASME. I know what I would be doing right now, and I think the facts for working people, we have limited resources. There's a few of us around this blog. We have our phone conferences. We discuss tactics. We're trying to build a think tank and hopefully a do tank in terms of participating in building the movement. But we have very limited resources in terms of finances and what have you. But I know that what we would do is that I think that every Labour activist, every rank and file member, every leftist in the union, in the trade union, should get down to their local, should get their local to call a meeting of its members, an emergency meeting of its members, or to whatever way they do it, with the agenda to discuss how we can get rid of the present Labour leadership who for too long have given up what our ancestors, what the Labour movement has fought for, the rank and file, ordinary people in the Labour movement have fought for over decades. They've given it up, and we've got to put a stop to it. We will end up with no unions at all, starting from the bottom up again if we continue this. Call a meeting, discuss that, and also how to drive back the capitalist offensive that is, as I say, encapsulated in the Trump victory after years of concessions. Clinton would have been similar. He's just a particular degenerate reflection of the crisis of capitalism. We have to put a stop to this. So first, get out to your union, get your union to call a meeting of your own members, discuss these issues, how to get rid of the trade union leadership, and what we can do to get rid of, to fight back against the capitalist offensive. From there, to build links, of course, with other unions, call on other unions, local unions, to do the same. Also, to link up with this women's march. There were some pretty horrible types I saw speaking in Washington, that obviously millionaires and everything else, but it's drawn into it, you can bet you. Hundreds of thousands of young people, of people that have never thought they would be active because Trump is such a disgraceful, degenerate individual. So link up with those people that will organise the marches, that will be continuing to organise resistance against what Trump and what he represents. Link up with them, strengthen the movement, and also hopefully leading up to and working with them to call a national conference to remove the present union leadership who are not legitimate. And you know, it's not so hard. Somebody once said rotten apples fall fairly quickly when a fairly decent wind strikes the tree. You know, they seem to be there forever, but one of the reasons what's happening is the membership is not there, and we got to change that. Call a national meeting where we can discuss these issues, and an international meeting, because capital is global and we have to be global. There's nothing wrong with worker globalization, with socialist globalization. As far as I'm concerned, it's capitalist globalization that is the issue. And the last thing I'd like to say is this, is that I think at the very least, if any rank and file activist, labour activist in the unions, a left activist in the unions, does not openly condemn, and either through their union, through themselves as individuals, openly publicise and condemn these trade unions and demand and call for their removal, that we should work to their removal, I believe that you're not, and Facts for Working People would agree that you're not, you're letting down the working class, you're undermining the strength of the working class and the unity of the working class, which is what is necessary for us to change course and give our children, firstly, to pass on what our ancestors, those that struggle, to give us, to pass it on to future generations, and to give our families and our children and our grandchildren a future. That's the dire situation we're in. And so at the very least, every activist, left activist, a trade union activist in the unions should be doing that. So these are just some of my thoughts. I just thought about how disgusting it is that these people met with him, and we should distance ourselves from it and call for them to be gone, and to let them know we will organise for them to be gone. Okay, so that was just what I was thinking about when I was out and about. Take care. Richard Mellor, Facts for Working People.